Okay, what's up everybody out there? Thanks for watching. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about Pappy Van Winkle, right? So there's not going to be any drinking in this video. So if that's what you came to watch, you could probably tune out now. All right, you still there. So years back, the Clipse made a song called Mr. Me Too. I love the Clipse. Pusha T, Malice, No Malice. Point is, in this song, they're talking about how anytime you got something, somebody else has to be like Mr. Me Too. Like, okay, I got a private jet. Okay, you got a private jet. I got the newest Lex. You got to have the newest Lex. It's more just about like, copying people. The new term for that is called like FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And I think I'm seeing a lot of that right with the bourbon game that's going on now. Let me explain. So one of the things that I saw a lot in the bourbon game is that the Pappy Van Winkle, right? And I talked about this in a different video, but this is pretty much like the hype. This is the hype. These are like the Black Friday J's that come out. This is like the steel Rolex. It's not really about the quality per se. It's more the fact that like it's hyped and, in order for you to keep up, right? You don't want to feel like you're missing out on this. So people have, bid these bottles up on the secondary market into the stratosphere. I mean, thousands of dollars for a bottle. I was listening now. Apparently, they even have like groups now, social media groups where you could pay for like a sample of Pappy, like a shot of it or something. They'll send it to you through the mail, for $300 or something. I don't know. Something really insane. It doesn't make sense to me. Hey, it's your own business how you spend your money, but this is kind of like the way that I think about it. So I was watching this documentary called Neat, and it's about basically the origins of the whiskey game in America. Specifically, they have a focus on Buffalo Trace Distillery. Buffalo Trace Distillery, in case you don't know, is the distillery that makes Pappy Van Winkle. They make Buffalo Trace. They make Weller. They make what seems to be in-demand whiskeys now. One of the people in this video, this movie, is Freddie, and he's like a third-generation Buffalo Trace employee. So something that struck me in this video is he's saying that like the Pappy that's out now and all these other products that are out now, these aged products, these are the result of like things that mash bills they came up with 30 years ago, right? So that means like the stuff that you're drinking now, the Pappy 12 and 20 and, well, probably more like the 20 and a lot of this older stuff. I mean, this is stuff that they came up with in like the 90s, right? The reason being is that once you come up with the mash bill, you got to distill it. You distill it. It's going to be like, 10 to 15 years before you can taste it. Then after that, you may say, oh, okay, all right, I probably want to make a little adjustment. You do another batch. So by the time that second batch comes out, it's like 30 years later. So what he's saying is that the stuff that you're drinking now is stuff that they came up with like, 20 to 30 years ago. Let me further explain. Let me give you another example you can understand. So the new iPhone comes out, right? It's a great phone. iPhone 10, whatever it is, 11, whatever. It's a great phone. Why don't people go and buy like 100 of these phones and just keep them? Well, obviously it's easy, right? Because you don't need to. Like, it's good for what it is now, but there's going to be a better one that's coming out later. Next year, for sure, definitely. So it's the same thing with this Pappy, right? What he's telling you is that, the stuff they got coming out next, is going to be way, way, way better than the Pappy that's out now, or this Weller, all this type of stuff that people are really hyping up into the clouds. And it's really ridiculous because it's kind of like a false demand, really. People are just buying this stuff and hoarding it. I saw this picture on Twitter, and it's just this room where it's just a table full of Weller, Buffalo Trace, Antique, all this in-demand stuff that's bid up. People are just accumulating this stuff just for the fact that you can flip it and resell it. It's not really about, the quality, although it is a good quality. It's just a farce, right? You really got to try not to get like caught up in hype in life. It's just going to really mess you up. Something that Freddie also said is that, well, a lot of times they give tours and, sometimes people will say, oh yeah, I tried this product. He didn't want to say the name, but you could tell he meant Pappy. And the guys will be like, well, yeah, I mean, I paid $1,000 for this, or a couple $1,000s for this bottle, and I wasn't really that impressed with it. He says it's like you buy a car without test driving it. And of course, people will be like, no, of course not. I'm going to try it out, see if I like it before I spend that kind of money. So he was just saying, like, you got to do the same thing. Like, if you want to get into these Pappies and stuff, instead of buying all these bottles and stuff, why not just like go to a bar, a whiskey bar, right? Ask them for a flight. Ask them for a flight of, the Pappy 12, the Weller, whatever. Try them out yourself before you spend that kind of money. I was going to say invest, but that's not an investment. Before you spend that kind of money on something that literally you're going to piss out, It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. The point of this video is like Mr. Me Too, fear of missing out. Don't feel like you're going to be missing out if you don't get these exclusive releases or something, because there's always going to be something that's coming out better. Just go for what you like. Don't go for the hype. Don't listen to this stuff on social media, which is precisely the point of this playlist that I'm making, because I want to try for myself. That way I can see, if it's worth it or if I think it's worth it. So that's my take. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.